Right, well, we're looking at Teddy Wilson and small groups this evening. Teddy Wilson was one of the most prominent pianists of the swing age, the era of the big bands and when jazz was the popular music of the day. But Teddy's reputation was not built on work with big bands. He made his reputation by his work as a soloist or as an accompanist to many of the top vocalists of the day, but above all, as a leader or a member of small groups. To get some idea of whom we're talking about this evening and who we're listening to, let's hear Teddy playing solo in January 1936. And this will be the only solo record we play tonight. But here he is with a number called Breaking in a Pair of Shoes. Teddy Wilson there, a style that was to be copied by thousands upon thousands of pianists and heard in hotel lounges and cocktail bars in a very emasculated version, I should say. Well, who was this Teddy Wilson? Well, he was born in Texas in 1912, named Theodore Shaw Wilson, and he was born to black middle-class parents who then moved to Alabama, where his father was the head of English at Tuskegee College and his mother the college's chief librarian. Teddy studied piano and violin, and by his teens had decided already on a musical career. And so he studied musical theory to a pretty high level at college. but jazz was what appealed to him. That was the particular music that really caught him. Teddy says that the great influences on him as a pianist were Earl Hines and Art Tatum, both of whom he was to work with when he moved up to Chicago in 1930s. I also feel that Fats Waller was in there when you listen to that left hand at times. He and Art Tatum, by the way, formed a duo and they toured Chicago speakeasies, playing piano wherever they went. And as Teddy says, I learned a great deal from Art and he had a tremendous influence on my style. By 1931, as I said, Teddy was in Chicago. And by 1933, he was a member of Louis Armstrong's band and recorded with him, but he didn't have any real kind of solos on those tracks. And later, of course, he played with Jimmy Noon as well. Then fortune smiled on him when he was subbing for Earl Hines at the Grand Terrace in Chicago. Earl was on tour and Teddy had taken over the band for the evening. The band that night was being broadcast with Teddy, of course, at the piano. And way, way up in New York, record producer John Hammond was listening on his car radio. He was most impressed by what he heard. He said he heard a swinging pianist with an absolutely excellent left hand. Hammond, as we know, had that ear for early musical talent. I mean, his record of finds proves it. Billie Holiday, Count Basie, Charlie Christian, Bob Dylan, Aretha Franklin, Bruce Springsteen, George Benson, all were Hammond's finds during his career. But back to Theodore Wilson. Hammond got in touch with Benny Carter, provided the cash to bring Wilson up to New York. The next day, he was in a recording studio with Benny Carter's Chocolate Dandies, an integrated group for the recording session. It had Max Kaminsky on trumpet, Benny Carter himself on trumpet, alto, and doing the arrangement. Floyd O'Brien was on trombone. Hugh Berry was the tenor man, Teddy, of course, at piano, Larry Lucy on guitar, Ernie Still on bass, and Big Sid Catlett at the drums. And here's the Chocolate Dandies in October 1933 with Once Upon a Time. Well, fortune once again smiled on Teddy when John Hammond was nearby. At a private party held by Red Norvo and his wife, Mildred Bailey, Benny Goodman began on his clarinet and Teddy joined him on the piano. Another guest began playing rhythm with some brushes on a chair. John Hammond was impressed with the sound and the interplay between Wilson and Goodman and immediately arranged for a trio recording with Gene Krupa on the drums. Gene Krupa, by the way, was a drummer that both Benny and Teddy Wilson thought was absolutely excellent. Wilson himself said Krupa was a drummer of genius. Now, Hammond arranged this trio meeting, and of course, with the trio, a lot of the responsibility fell on the pianist with no bass player present. Rhythm and harmony fell totally on him, especially with the use of the left hand. The result was the birth of the Benny Goodman small groups. Well, the public was to hear, as Gunter Schuller, the music critic, wrote, he said, for the next 50 years, the public was to hear from Teddy Wilson clean, relaxed, uncluttered playing, cohesive and logical in form, airy in texture, graced by flawless taste and a refined touch, judiciously sprinkled with pearly decorative runs, all set over a marvelously mobile left hand. Well, let's hear some of that playing now with a couple of tracks by the Goodman Trio from 1935. First up is After You've Gone, then after that we'll have Body and Soul, the Benny Goodman Trio. The Benny Goodman trio. Well, that trio wasn't the first integrated group to record. I mean, early we heard the Chocolate Dandies, which was an integrated group. But when Teddy joined the Goodman entourage, they were the first integrated group to perform on a public platform, not just in the recording studios. Wilson says that Benny Goodman should be given credit for this. He said, hiring him and Hampton was a great gamble because of racial attitude in the States at that particular time. But Benny decided music was more important than race, and his gamble paid off. Benny had a very high regard for Teddy Wilson. He actually said of him, Teddy Wilson is the greatest musician in dance music today, irrespective of instruments. Well, that was one of a hell of a praise in the 1930s. And I think it's because, like himself, Teddy Wilson had a classic background and they used to play together, not just jazz, but also classical numbers. Well, John Hammond's patronage was to the fore once more when he got Teddy a contract with Brunswick Recording Studios. This allowed Teddy to make small group recordings with any jazz musicians or vocalists who were in town. Well, what was the idea behind this move? The idea was the jukebox. By 1933, prohibition had ended. Pubs, taverns, bars where the kind of ice cream parlours, etc., that young people went to as well, now all were legally open, and they began to use jukeboxes to attract custom. The jukebox, which I was staggered when I looked into it, had started way back, believe it or not, in the 19th century, but had evolved by the 1930s into a very sophisticated machine. And companies like Wurlitzer were turning them out by the thousands. For a nickel, you could hear music and dance. I mean, that's why they were nicknamed the Nickelodeon. You remember that, you might remember that song from the late 40s, early 50s by Teresa Brewer. Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want to do is hear music, music, music. There you go, you see. Well, John Hammond, as ever, was there with his sense of the evolving music scene. He hires Teddy to make small group danceable music for the national jukeboxes and to make them cheaply. That was the important thing. Use experienced jazzmen who could improvise from a very limited sketch arrangement made by Wilson. And because they were such excellent jazzmen and could improvise so easily, they didn't need lengthy rehearsals. And for a one-off payment for a 3-hour session, they could lay down 4 tracks and they were actually paid on the day. So Hammond not only was a great finder of talent, he was also pretty astute in getting music recorded. So were born the Teddy Wilson small group sessions of the 1930s. Some were instrumentals, others were vocalists, including people like Mildred Bailey, Nam Wynne, Lena Horne, and above all, Billie Holiday, who Teddy says I'm staggered that in his book, this book here is his autobiography, he said he made over 200 tracks with Billie Holiday. Well, I've heard many, but I never thought there were 200. And actually, he himself preferred recording with Mildred Bailey and Ella Fitzgerald rather than with Billie. Anyhow, again, it was Hammond who introduced Wilson to Billie Holiday. For the recording sessions, Wilson and Billie would go through the songs in Teddy's apartment, and at recording sessions, she often still had the sheet music in front of her to sing the lyrics from. From that first session with Billie in July 1935, Teddy brought together Roy Eldridge, Benny Goodman, Ben Webster, John Trueheart on guitar, John Kirby at the bass. The drummer was Cozy Cole, and Teddy himself was at the piano. And here's Billie with Miss Brown to You.
never guess who, lovable, huggable Emily Brown. Miss Brown, you, what if the rain comes pattering down? My heaven is blue, Tennessee sending me Emily Brown. Miss Brown, you, I know her eyes are familiar, but go slow, oh, don't you all get too familiar. Why do you think she's coming to town? Just wait and you'll see. The lovable little Miss Brown is baby to me. Yes, yes.
Later, Teddy assembled that's okay, Sid. He assembled another fine group of jazzmen to back Billy. This time it had Buck Clayton, Buster Bailey, Lester Young's in there. The Basie rhythm section, apart from Basie himself, because Teddy replaced him at the piano. And here they are with Billy singing Easy Living.
darling, it's grand. They just don't understand living for you. It's easy living, it's easy to live when you're in love, and I'm so in love. There's nothing in life but you.
To lay down a couple of instrumental tracks in 1936, Teddy brought together Roy Eldridge, Buster Bailey, Chu Berry, Israel Crosby, and Sid Catlett. And the first one, the number they did, was a number called Warming Up. Warming up there. Well, they followed that with a number in which Israel Crosby, who was only about 18 or 19, I think, at the time, his bass, he played an ostinato bass figure, and it features right throughout. The number is Blues in C minor. But I did have difficulty finding a decent recording on the channels for this number. But here we go. Blues in C sharp minor. blues in C sharp minor there. Well, Teddy was back in the studios with more fine musicians to back an 18-year-old Ella Fitzgerald. For Ella, the lineup included Frankie Newton on trumpet, Benny Morton on trombone, somebody called Jerry Blake on clarinet, and I don't know a great deal, Ted McRae on tenor, and Cozy Cole was the drummer. And here we've got Ella in 1936 singing My Melancholy Baby. Melancholy Baby there with a very young Ella Fitzgerald. Well, a few months later, he's back in the studio with Mildred Bailey this time. Jim Blake, who I do not know, was on trumpet, but Hank D'Amico was the clarinet player this time. Hugh Berry came in on tenor. Alan Roos, Benny Goodman's guitarist, was there. And Dave Tuft this time was the drummer. It's January 1938, and Mildred Bailey is singing Thanks for the Memory.
Thanks for the memory of rainy afternoons, swingy Harlem tunes, motor trips and burning lips and burning toast and prunes. How lovely it was. Thanks for the memory of candlelight and wine, castles on your cozy chair and parties where we sang Sweet Adeline. How lovely it was. Many's the time that we feasted, and many's the time that we fasted. Oh, well, it was swell while it lasted. We did have fun and no harm done. And thanks for the memory of sunburns at the shore, nights in Singapore. You might have been a bring down, but you never were a bore. So thank you so much.
Well, in September 1937, Teddy put together a quartet that included Red Novo on xylophone, John Simmons on bass, and on trumpet with Harry James. And I think that this track shows what a great jazz trumpeter Harry James was. It was issued as a double-sided 78, and here it is, to take us up to the interval. This is a number called Just a Mood. Right, the interval there. By 1939, Teddy had left Goodman to set up his own big band, like many of them did at that time. But unfortunately for Teddy, it did not prove a commercial success, and he had to disband, although he had some good members in him. Although he was to record on many future occasions with Benny Goodman and to appear in the film The Goodman Story, which he said was basically a load of trash apart from the music, I suppose the highlight of his Goodman days would be that 1938 January evening when they appeared at the Carnegie Hall. The quartet in particular were in sparkling form that night and were able to stretch out compared with their 78 recordings. Here we've got Teddy, Gene Krupa, Benny and Lionel Hampton in full flow at Carnegie, January 1938, with a number called Dizzy Spells. lost all sound. Right, suddenly I lost all sound suddenly for a time. Right, after the failure of his big band not being fit for military service, Teddy took a sextet into the Cafe Society Club. The sextet included Emmett Berry on trumpet, Jimmy Hamilton on clarinet, Benny Morton on trombone, Joe Williams was playing bass, and C. Hurd was doing the drumming. And this was the group that accompanied Lena Horne when she recorded a number Out of Nowhere in 1941. Lena Horne. Incidentally, both Lena Horne and Teddy had leftish leaning political views, and they were under the FBI's watchful eye for a great deal of the time. Teddy even earned the nickname the Marxist Mozart in one of the jazz magazines. Lena Horne I actually saw in the 1940s at the Palace in Manchester. She was absolutely excellent. Well, Coleman Hawkins was a musician Teddy really admired. Once again, a classical background like himself. In fact, Hawkins had a vast collection of LPs, etc. None of them jazz, all of them classical music. And at night, he used to play his cello classical tunes again. Well, Teddy said of Hawkins' solo on Body and Soul, he said that it was the best solo I ever heard in jazz. And in 1944, Teddy linked up with Hawkins and they laid down a number of tracks for Keno. So here's Teddy, Coleman Hawkins, John Kirby, and Big Sid on the drums with a number, Don't Blame Me. Don't blame me, they're Hawkins at his best. 5 months later, in October 1944, Teddy again recorded with Hawkins, but now Charlie Shavers joined them on trumpet. Bill Taylor was playing the bass, and Denzel Best was now the drummer. And here they are with a number called El Salon de Gut Bucket. Well, Gut Bucket Saloon. It's okay, he said. It may have been, Teddy may have been enjoying himself in the with Shavers and Hawkins in the Gut Bucket Saloon, but he was soon back in the studios in one of his more popular roles as an accompanist. Here he is again with Charlie Shavers and Red Norvo, Billy Taylor on bass, and Maury Felt is the drummer. And here they are backing Maxine Sullivan as she sings Every Time We Say Goodbye.
Every time we say goodbye, I die a little. Every time we say goodbye, I wonder why a little. Why the gods above me, who must be in the know, think so little of me, they allow you to go. When you're near, there's such an air of spring about it. I can hear a lark somewhere begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor. Every time we say goodbye.
Maxine Sullivan there with Every Time. Well, it's 1945. The war's coming to an end. The world's going crazy. 1 minute, Teddy's in an orchestra backing Billy Daniels as he belts out that old black magic. And then he comes up with My Yiddish Mama. Well, only a few weeks earlier, Teddy had been with Red Norvo, Slam Stewart, Specs Powell, backing Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker. And here they are, belting out Hallelujah, June 1945. Early days of pop. From that old black magic, my usual mama, right through to Hallelujah there in a couple of weeks, 1945. Well, from the start of his career with Billie Holiday, Teddy had accompanied a whole variety of vocalists, a number of whom we've heard already this evening. And then in 1946, along with Charlie Ventura, Reno Palmieri, and Billy Taylor, he backed one of the best vocalists. It's Sarah Vaughan. It's November 1946, and the song is September Song.
Oh, it's a long, long while from May to December, but the days grow short when you reach September, when the autumn weather turns the leaves to flame. One hasn't got time for the waiting game. Oh, the days dwindle down
Teddy there with Sarah Vaughan and Charlie Ventura. Well, the post-war years saw Teddy involved in numerous reunions with Benny Goodman, including, of course, playing himself in the film version, the Benny Goodman story. And then he toured the USSR with Benny in 1962 with the full orchestra. Well, he spent a number of summers teaching a jazz course at the Juilliard School. Among his pupils was a young Dick Hyman, actually. And then he spent time in broadcasting studios where he had a radio show. But mainly those years were spent touring the world, including the UK, where he recorded with the clarinetist Dave Shepherd. 1978 saw Teddy back at the Carnegie Hall, this time with the Lionel Hampton All-Star Band. And then he was linking up with Jerry Mulligan at the Newport Festival. During these years, Teddy laid down hundreds and hundreds of tracks, actually, from those in New York in 1946 with the Metronome All-Stars to a whole series of solos in Tokyo in 1983. From this multitude of recordings, I've selected 3 dates where Teddy plays with small groups. Firstly, in 1953, he met up with his old colleague, the man he called the genius drummer, Gene Krupa. Gene had put together a sextet that included Charlie Shavers once again, but this time Bill Harris on trombone, Ben Webster was there on tenor, Ray Barron was the bass player, and Teddy was at the piano. And of course, Gene Krupa was at the drums. And here they are with I'm Coming, Virginia. Well, in January 1956, Terry recorded with another old colleague, Lester Young, and they were joined by Jim Remy on bass and Joe Jones at the drums. And here they are with a number called Prez Returns, 1956. We lost them. Lester Young and Teddy. Well, for the final track of this look at the small group work of Teddy Wilson, that most urbane, elegant, tasteful and sophisticated of swing pianists, I've chosen another track with Lester Young, but this time he and Teddy are joined by Roy Eldridge, Vic Dickinson, Freddie Green, Gene Ramey and Joe Jones from an album rightly titled Jazz Giants 1956. The track I've chosen is a longish track and it's Gigantic Blues. Romantic blues. Well, Teddy continued to tour the world, even joining Jazz at the Phil in 1969, until his death from stomach cancer on July the 31st, 1986. He died 6 weeks after Benny Goodman's death, and the patron of them both, John Hammond, followed them 12 months later. Teddy Wilson, and so past Teddy Wilson, a great pianist responsible for many of the great small group jazz tracks of the 1930s right through to the 1950s. A man who knew his own worth. When asked who his favourite pianist was, he said, "I am." Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And thanks, Sid, especially for doing all the DJ work. Thanks a lot.
It's a pleasure, Harry. Anytime.